The Kurdish people were once considered allies in the war against ISIS, but it has been a year now since the Turkish offense on the Kurdish regions in Syria. 300,000 displaced. The Kurdish people are now refugees, forced to live in tent-like settlements, but most of them still long for home. Our next report tells you more.
The 5-month-old paralyzed baby girl of Wadha Sheikh has only lived in a tent. Like thousands of other Kurdish families in Syria, Wadha had to abandon her home about a year ago. When Turkish-backed forces captured their hometown. In 2019, Ankara launched an offensive against Kurdish forces on its southern border with Syria. Now, over 10,000 Kurds live in camps set up by local Kurdish administrators as refugees within their own country. The 2019 offensive by Turkey on Kurdish land was codenamed Operation Peace Spring. Ironically, it led to the displacement of over 300,000 civilians like Wadha. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has warned of growing violence and killings in areas captured by Turkey with desperate need for humanitarian aid. Children living in camps are still unable to go to school, and fears of a lost generation linger.
1-2 years, God knows. What will the future of our children be? How will my daughters spend the rest of their lives in the tent? When they grow up and become aware, what psychological state will they be in?
Most homes and belongings left behind have been seized or looted. The displaced Kurds had hopes of returning to their home one day. But their dreams and their future have been snatched away. Life in the Hasake camp is tough. The dusty site is crowded with other Kurdish civilians. For some of them, to be buried in a graveyard is better than living in the camp.
Life in the camp and life in a graveyard are the same. To be buried in a graveyard is better than to be living in the camp. I always tell myself that if I were dead in Ras Al Ain, it would have been better than living in the camp. In the camp, we die 1,000 times a day.
Turkey has been accused of ethnic cleansing, and European nations have imposed an arms embargo on Ankara. America has been criticized for abandoning the Kurds who helped fight ISIS. While the Russian and Syrian ceasefire with Turkey has done little to help those who had been displaced. The Kurds were once considered an ally against ISIS by the Combined Task Force. But more than a year since the Turkish offensive, they have just become pawns in the international power battle underway in Syria. West Asia Bureau, WION World is One.